Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys I'm going to be doing a cool, interesting deck profile based around one particular card and a combo, I guess you could say. You could maybe classify this deck as an OTK, FTK type of deck, I guess you could say to some extent. Is it built for the main meta? No. Is it built for fun? Yes. The main reason I built this deck was not to face against main meta, but just to have some fun at my locals and whatnot, and just show you guys this old card and what it can do, and that some old school type of tactics can still be applied and win in today's game. So I want to apologize first off, guys, if you hear any background noise. They're doing construction work next door, moving heavy equipment, so I do apologize if you hear any machine type of noises. But onto the deck profile. So what is this deck based around, and what is it supposed to do? So this card, this deck is based around a card called Mataza The Zapper. Now, Mataza The Zapper is an old card that came out of Invasion of Chaos. It does have, it's pretty much like a Blade Armor Ninja. It can attack twice during the battle phase, and it's a really cool card. But without further ado, guys, we'll get into the deck profile, and I'll explain more about this deck and how it works. So first off, we have our 3 Mataza The Zapper. I should mention that this deck has a very low monster count, but it searches and thins and does what it needs to do very, very efficiently. But I've tested this deck online recently, and it actually won a couple of duels, and I was really proud of that against some pretty interesting decks. But Mataza The Zapper. So pretty much I'm going to read you what its effect says, because it's an old school card, and I doubt many of you guys know what this card does. It says, this monster can attack twice during the same battle phase. While this card is face up on the field, the control of this card cannot switch. Now that was important back in the day, that last line of text, because of things like brain control, enemy controller, snatch and steal, change of heart. I'm trying to say like that. It mattered a lot more back in the day than it does nowadays. But its first effect is the main effect we're really working upon. So what has this card got going for it that it can attack twice? Well, first off, it's a warrior type, so it can work with warrior swarm type of tactics. Second off, it's a dark target. So that means you can bring another big warrior type of monster out called Big Daddy BLS, which we do run in the deck. So it does have some nice things going for it. But this is the card that this deck is mainly focused around, to swarm the field with some warrior monsters, get them boosted up using Solidarity, United We Stand, Seal of Orichalcos, whatever, and just freaking keep bashing your opponent's head in with big warrior type of monsters attacking twice. So some fun times there. So next up we have 3 Marauding Captain. Now the reason why we run 3 Marauding Captain is it helps get out Mataza The Zapper, and if Mataza The Zapper, early on in the duel does not have a lot of equips, or you don't have Solidarity or whatever, Marauding Captain can help protect it from, being destroyed right away. Because if they want to destroy it, they're going to have to go through the Marauding Captain first, and Marauding Captain may, with the Solidarity out, be a 19 beat stick, so it's not going to be all too easy to get around. Granted, Mataza The Zapper can be, the play with Mataza The Zapper can kind of be messed up by monster card effects and spell card effects, but we do run some cards to get around that. And I will say, from playing this deck recently, usually, if you can get around 1 or 2 of your opponent's spell or traps very quickly, you just overcome them so quickly with this deck. It's just so fast that, they're dead before they know what hit the ground. And the really nice advantage of this deck is your opponent really doesn't know what the heck you're playing. They really don't know. I've played a couple of decks online, on Rated, and people are like, what are you doing? This is such a bad deck. And then next thing they know, they got like a 37 Mataza The Zapper slapping them in the face for 2 turns, and they're like, oh, that escalated very quickly. So next we have a newer card called Trident Warrior. So what does Trident Warrior do, and why is he in this deck? So, really, really nice combo here. You can go Trident Warrior, special summon out Mataza The Zapper. Notice Dark Light attribute. So, say you draw into BLS, or you get BLS, and these 2 cards are engraved. You can just banish it, bring out the BLS. BLS will get a bonus because he's a warrior from Solidarity and United We Stand, and you get the plays where this is going from. But it's pretty much just an easy access to get in the light and dark and graveyard. Plus he's an 18 beat stick, so he's a normal beat stick for the deck. Just very useful to help swarm the field, as well as with Marauding Captain. when you're using it to bring up Mataza the Zapper as well. With Unite, we stand on the field. It just gives it the ability to unite to stand to be more versatile, more useful, I guess you could say. So we definitely run 3 Trident Warrior. It's your beat stick. It just does what Marauding Captain does. It's a light attribute, has a lot of things. It's a warrior. It can be searched, all that lovely things. Then we just run a couple of 2 one-ofs. We run 1 Quirky Mirror Berserker and 1 Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning. So, why do we run this card? Now, this is a card that not a lot of people know of. It kind of is like Mataza the Zapper, but the fact of the matter is I was thinking of basing this deck or this idea of, you know, attacking with big beat sticks twice around this card. But the problem I have with this card is, number one, it's not a dark. Mataza the Zapper is a dark, which means you can just throw BLS in there, which is really nice. Plus he's, you know, there's different ways you could used to be able to utilize Mataza the Zapper. But though I do like him as a one-of. He's really nice as a one-of though, I'll admit that. So what can you use this guy with? Technically, you could base a deck based around him as well, Quirky Mirror Berserker. But pretty much what he does is you have to reveal 1 warrior monster, like any Quirky Mirror says. So you have to reveal, because his attribute is warrior, you have to reveal 1 warrior monster, otherwise he gets destroyed. But his main line of text we are concerned about, I'll read to you right now. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, it can attack twice in a row. That's kind of the condition that Mataza the Zapper doesn't have. It has to destroy a monster before it can attack again, while Mataza the Zapper can just attack twice in the battle phase. So you get kind of the benefit of Mataza the Zapper over this card. Though it does come in useful. It's a backup plan also. You know, if you just have solidarities out there, you bring out a 28 beat stick and you just go, oh, attack that monster, run over, oh, attack again. So you get where this is going. And then Big Daddy BLS right here. So easy to get out. When you have Solidarity and United We Stand on Big Daddy BLS and you can attack twice, it ends games so quickly. But definitely your backup plan, your boss monster of the deck. So, proceeding on, there is actually only 11 monsters in the main deck. I know you guys may be saying, whoa, that's a really low count. How do you get this combo plays off? Well, you rely on a lot of spells and a lot of searching and drawing to get these pieces. So first off, we have our 3 Rhoda. I'm going to say right now, I am doing this deck before the July 2015 ban list. I think it's like July 13th when I'm making this video. The ban list has still not come out yet, so I apologize if you're watching this video in the future and, you know, Rhoda goes to 1 or whatever, I don't know. But just saying, I apologize in the future. But we got our 3 reinforcements of the army. Help search out Mataza the Zapper, help search out Marauding Captain, help search out pretty much all your monsters except BLS. Very, very effective. Then we run 3 Upstart Goblin. More consistency for the deck. Now you may say to yourself, oh my gosh, but this deck is kind of like an OTK, FTK type of deck. Why would you run Upstart Goblin? That's giving your opponent life points. Okay. 1 shot from Mataza the Zapper, BLS, Trident Warrior, whatever, negates whatever that 1,000 life points your opponent's gained. Very rarely do I find myself in a position where I'm like, oh, I wish I didn't give him that 1,000 life points. It helps thin through your deck, get to your combo pieces, get to your plays. You may not go off right away with this deck. You may want to be a little conservative, sit on your traps, but it does come in handy to thin out your deck. Then we run 2 Power Dualities. Now, problem with Power Duality I have is, and the reason I want it as a 2 of instead of a 3 of is, with things like Trident Warrior, BLS, Marauding Captain, you can normal summon and special summon Mataza the Zapper. With Power Duality, after you've activated it, you can't do that. Sometimes you have to wait a turn to go off, but it does come in handy. If you're just trying to find pieces, trying to find combo pieces, trying to have a backup plan, which is a lot of the time what happens. You'll make the Mataza the Zapper play, then on the next turn you activate Power Duality, trying to thin through your deck, trying to find combo pieces for a backup plan or whatever. It comes in handy. So I do like the 2 Power Duality for consistency and thinning and whatever else. So as you can see, you have a lot of search and draw power right there. And on top of all that, we do add 1 Gold Sarcophagus just to search out whatever you need. Mainly it's to help search out the attack boosters, I guess you could say. So things like Solidarity. Because I place Gold Sarcophagus also in my Horus the Black Flame Dragon deck. even though it does special summon. It comes in handy because you can search out, one of your solidarities, automatically get a boost to get over things. Or you can search out things like, Seal Roy Calcos, or whatever you want to get attack boost, whatever. So, Gold Sarcophagus just helps search the deck out, thin the deck out, whatever. So a lot of searching, drawing, and whatnot for this deck. Then we run 3 Solidarity. I was thinking of running Solidarity and not running Solidarity, and finally I said to myself, you know what, just run Solidarity. Just have some good old-fashioned fun with Mataza the Zapper. Now, back in the day, the combo was with Mataza the Zappers, because you would have Limit Level B, or back before we had Exceeds monsters, you would run Mataza the Zapper with United We Stand, Limit Level B, Gravity Bind, whatever. And Mataza the Zapper, because he's a level 3, could get over the, get underneath, Gravity Bind, Limit Level B, and still attack the opponent and wreck their day. Granted, now we have Exceeds, so those cards are not as good. Messenger of Peace is not as good with this deck. So it's best to just go all off and attack with your big beaters. So we have our 3 Solidarity, boost up Mataza the Zapper, boost up all your warriors. You want to have a 38 BLS that can swing twice? Yeah, I like that. So yes, we do run those cards. Then we run 2 Warrior Returning to Life. This can help use up dead resources in grave. It's an old staple Warrior-esque card, and for Warrior Swarm type of decks that Mataza the Zapper was used in back in like 04, 05 and whatnot back in the day. Definitely staple still, going in 10 years later. Very useful card. Then we run 2 United We Stands, and I do use a card that was used recently when Snatch and Steal was legal. So you can help search this card, get it out of the graveyard, whatever, and that is 1 Hidden Armory. So we run 1 Hidden Armory and 2 United We Stands. This is the only amount of equip spells that you run. A lot of people don't like equip spells, but with Mataza the Zapper and the ability to go normal, special Mataza, United We Stand, and then with a Solidarity, a Seal of the Orichalcos on board, you're talking about a 3,000 guy you just normal summoned or special summoned right out the gate, and you just can pound your opponent into the dirt. Plus, this can help search out Unite We Stand, get it out of the graveyard, whatever. So, do like the 1 Hidden Armory and the 2 Unite We Stands. Underrated card, still a very good card in Swarm type of decks, tactics. Then we run 1 Seal of the Orichalcos. I don't really like using the extra deck. I was pretty much at 39 cards, and I was saying, well, do I want to run like things like maybe another Fiendish Chain, a Mirror Force? But I was like, this deck is more offensive, so you don't need to run Mirror Force or Deep Prison or defensive cards like that. Yeah, you want your staple like your Warning, your Compulse, your Bottomless, your Fiendish, your Breakthrough Skill, whatever. But this card can come in handy because you really don't go into the extra deck. Your levels are kind of all over the place. Yes, you can go into level 3s, but because you're running Solidarity, it's kind of limited, and there's no really good level 3 warriors out there that I know of off the top of my head. So the Seal of the Orichalcos, that 500 bonus, run over face all day long. Then we run, just to clear the board and attack directly with Mataza the Zapper and whatnot, we run 1 Raigeki and 1 Dark Hole. This can help get around problems. If your opponent swims the board, you can, push them in. So even if they're gaining advantage, if you destroy, Burning Abyss stuff, it doesn't matter because you're attacking with a huge Mataza the Zapper. You're going off to get around their monster. So Raigeki and Dark Hole, you clear the board, you attack with Mataza the Zapper, and just swing into their face. I tried 2 Dark Hole and 1 Raigeki. A little bit overkill, but you can try it out if you want to as a player. Then we run our 2 MST to stop things like Fiendish Chain, Back Row, whatever, stuff like that. Now, the one thing that Mataza the Zapper and this deck in general is going to have problems with is monster effects. Castel, 101, apologize for my phone going off, but things like Castel, 101, monster effects, spells and traps, things of that nature. So I started thinking about this deck and ways I could, I guess you could say, mitigate that. I wanted a card that could negate pretty much anything. That was Mataza the Zapper. So I was thinking, well, Dress, Forbidden Dress, Forbidden Lance. But as I was playing around with these cards, I found that they weren't as good. I mean, yeah, they were good. Trap Stun, I tried it out, but it was giving me some problems because it wasn't covering the monster effects. So I kind of sat there and thought and started going for my my binders, and then I came across an old school card that I've always turned to and haven't used since early days of Gravekeepers. That's called Dark Illusion. So what does Dark Illusion do? Let me read it for you guys. Negate the activation of a spell card, trap card, or effect monster's effect that targets a face-up dark monster and destroy that card. So you're negating it. It's a counter spell. What did I say earlier in the video? Mataza the Zapper is a dark, correct? That comes in handy in two instances. BLS and this card. Yes, it's a trap. Yes, it's slower than Forbidden Lance or Forbidden Dress, but it's a little bit better than Trap Stun because it covers just Mataza the Zapper. Now, you may say, well, you're only running 3 Darks in Mataza the Zapper. That's kind of inconsistent. Granted, I understand, but this card can come in handy. It's usually you're going for broke, and sometimes this can give you protection against that one back row card that's going to stop you, and it can come in handy. And like I said, this deck swarms so fast and draws and searches so fast that sometimes you'll have an extra Mataza the Zapper play you can go off with. So that card does come in handy. Dark Illusions as a 2-up, definitely staple, I would say, in the deck. You can try out Forbidden Dress, Trap Stun, whatever you want to, but at the end of the day, because this deck is called Mataza the Zapper deck, Mataza the Zapper, this card works very well with it because it's a dark. Then we run your staple trap lineup. 2 Fiendish Chains, helps against effect monsters' effects just a little bit more, I guess you could say. Then we run your staple one-ofs, kind of Compulse, Bottomless, Solemn Warning. Was thinking of Torrential Tribune, but it kind of backfired on me a lot of the times. Plus I have Darkhole and Vageki for that, and they're spells, and they're a little bit faster in that respect. So you get where I'm trying to go here. So Solemn Warning, just good. Stop cards going off. Bottomless and Compulse, just versatile cards. Sometimes I've even compulsed the one card my opponent has on the field and gone for game with Mataza or the other monsters. So yes, that is the deck, guys, in a nutshell. There is no extra deck. I know people are going to say, oh my gosh, there's no extra deck for this deck. No. The Seal of the Orichalcos, and the fact of the matter is that you're running Solidarity kind of limits what you're going to go into the extra deck for, really. Just saying. It kind of, you don't really go into it. If you want to add some cards in the extra deck, be my guest. But I'll tell you this. I played, like, I think 20 games with this deck. Not one time did I ever go into the extra deck I made up. Being Cowboy and Gagaga Samurai and whatever else I had. Blade Armor Ninja and what else. Never once did I go into the extra deck. Not once. So, just saying. Other cards you can try out in this deck are things like Powerful Rebirth, a new card that came out of Cross Souls. I've been trying it out in this deck. It did work out pretty well. That 100 attack boost really came in handy. Plus, you can go into the extra deck too. So you may want to play around with that card as well. But I hope you all enjoy this kind of like old school take on this old school card from back in the day. I really had fun doing this. Like I said, it's not supposed to be main meta. It's just supposed to be fun, you know. And the cool thing about this deck is the best quality of this deck is I built this deck in like 2 hours from my past experience of playing this deck in Warrior Swarm type of decks in the past and whatnot. But it was really fun building and testing it out and whatnot. And I would highly suggest to you guys that try some old type of card, you know, base your deck around an old school card and try to make a deck around it just for fun. You know, and try to like build a strategy around it, like Mataza the Zapper. And I think you'll have a lot of fun in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Doing that, no matter what type of card it is. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling, and I'll see all of you guys next time. And go Mataza the Zapper, he's one of my favorite warriors of all time. Take care, everybody, and good luck dueling to all of you.